RocketFist! Wow! Wow!
Hello viewers, welcome back for another civilized and or uncivilized discussion here on RocketFist Gaming. This episode we will be discussing the most recent Marvel show Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And our dungeon master leading the discussion will be Anthony. So Anthony, take it away.
Hello,
I got cheesecake.
viewers of the internet. Okay, it is me, Anthony. Let's introduce the rest. So we've already been introduced to Chris.
I think we know everybody though.
Well, whatever.
Okay,
Fine.
sorry, go ahead.
And there's the others. There's me and Chris, and then the others. Okay. Yeah, we're the same. It's the same crew. So, but anyways, yes, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Is this a good time to tell you I'm schizo?
I'm also unable to move.
Yeah, I'm at that point as well. It's stuck at 0 seconds.
Okay, restart the intro again. Anyways, we wanted to maybe what's the word? Make this a little more discussion a little more efficient, just with the episode by episode wasn't bad. It just took a very long time to go through 5 people on every episode. And a lot of times we were just repeating the same things. It's like, oh yeah, I like the part when Baby Yoda did the thing. And so this time, and this is just this is just a rough sketch of an outline that I did. So hopefully things turn out not only better but also quicker, because that's kind of the point of doing this. But one thing I want to start off with, and this I want to start by asking each individual member, what were your thoughts going into the show? No, maybe you watched the trailers, maybe you didn't watch the trailers, but what were your thoughts? What were your hopes? And maybe positive hopes and negative hopes, like maybe things you were hoping not to see. So we could start with Chris. Well, if you're not busy, Chris.
Oh, movement!
Okay, well I'm back in the game. Thoughts going into it.
Yeah,
to be
just some
honest, I
quick
really
thoughts.
didn't have any. I just
Didn't
knew it
have
was
it?
coming up. I didn't watch any trailers. I don't know the Marvel lore that well. So I didn't
Okay.
know, what the possible storylines would be. So it was really just going into it kind of like I'm excited to see these characters interact because I loved them from the movies. And that was about it.
Yeah, no, that's nice. AJ, what was your thoughts?
I wasn't really sure what they were going to be able to do because Falcon and the Winter Soldier have both just been kind of side characters. So I was interested as to who they were going to be fighting, what their relationship was going to be, and how everything was actually going to end up working out for getting a new Captain America.
Was there any hopes or hopes of things you wanted or hopes of things you didn't want?
I didn't want it to suck.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Daniel, what was your thoughts going in?
I just wanted some cool fights.
Fair enough. Caleb?
I honestly saw it and was like, I bet they're gonna want to do a civilized discussion on this, so I should probably watch it.
Well, at least we met that expectation.
At least one person got what he wanted.
Yep. Oh, dang. Uh-oh. So anyways, for me, I only watched, I think, the first trailer that came out, and we'll get into this more when we get into it, but the trailer really doesn't represent the show very well. Not that either one was bad, but like, we'll discuss this more later, but it kind of elevated Zemo as the main villain. It had a really weird dark vibe to it. Like they show that scene, the party scene, and for a majority of the trailer, and it's like they were kind of trying to advertised as this cool, edgy, dark show, and it's like, you know, it wasn't really any of that, which was good because I was kind of actually afraid of that. I was like, we don't need that, you know. Let's just have a nice, cool action show. Um, and I'm glad that that expectation was met for myself. Again, I can share a similar attitude with Daniel. I just wanted to do. I wanted them to have some cool action fight scenes, and I wanted them to do the characters justice. So, okay. So I was gonna ask next if the show met your expectations, but I don't know. Well, Daniel, did it meet your expectations?
Wait, I'm typing in an angry thing.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh, so Chris didn't have any expectations, so his were probably met.
Neither did I.
We met. Well, we met Caleb's. We're doing the discussion now. AJ, did we meet your expectations
My
or
expectations were surpassed.
surpassed? Okay, that's good to hear.
Oh, you
And
mean it really didn't suck?
and Daniel, are you done your angry comment?
Yeah, I'm done with angry comment.
What were your
I mean, in 2 of the episodes, my expectations were met. The other ones, not so much.
Okay, and we'll get into more of that later. Okay, so just as a very quick, and again, if you're gotten this far, I guess we should have did this earlier in the video. Spoiler warnings. But
Yeah, just put it in the
quick,
comment section or the
quick,
description.
very flyover. See what I did there? Summary of the plot. It is after the events of Endgame. If you watched Endgame, Captain America, before I guess dying of old age, because we don't really know what happens to him afterwards. He hands off his shield to Sam, and then the show begins with Sam handing it off to a museum because he feels unworthy to take up the shield, which, like the American government, to be themselves, they took the shield and named a new Captain America, which ticks off our main characters, Sam and Buck. And anyways, they comment against a new team of terrorists called the Flag Smashers, who kind of like the when half the world was vaporized, so they kind of want to have that time of peace again, and they don't want to see countries reestablish their borders. Kind of makes you wonder if Thanos was maybe the right one. But anyways,
Controversial statements from Anthony.
yep. So anyways, they don't know what to do. They figure out that the head ringleaders of the movement are super soldiers, and who else knows more about super soldiers than Baron Von Zemo? So they break him out of prison, or well, he breaks himself out of prison, and they team up for an actually really hilarious trio that I kind of really wanted to see more of. But anyways, they meet up with the new Captain America and his sidekick, and they meet up with Sharon. Sharon shows up in Mandrapore, which, question, is Mandrapore a real country?
I don't think so.
Or is it a
I
Marvel
don't think
country?
so.
Okay.
Pretty sure
I
it's
have
just a city, actually.
I have a very hard time with Marvel because they have real places and not real places.
I mean,
I can
Sometimes
tell
usually
you
if
what
they're gonna
Wakanda's not real.
It's not a real
if they're
place.
gonna call a place like grubby or the back alley or sneaky, essentially if there's any negative connotation to it, it's not usually a real place.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm wondering if New York is a real place. But anyways, um, yeah. So anyways, they meet up with Sharon, who's still on the run. They never really do explain if she got blipped or not, but she's on the run because of what she did in Captain America: Civil War. And anyways, long story short, Sam decides to take up the mantle of Captain America, dons a really sick suit. We'll get later into that, and ends up stopping the Flag Smashers. And Zemo goes back to prison. So, anyways, okay. This is gonna be more open to discussion. You don't have to discuss if you don't want to, because again, we don't want to reiterate points of like, oh, I don't know what to think about it. So, what this will be open to discussion. You know, you can put up your hand, whoever wants to go first. Thoughts on the plot?
How
How will
Just
you know if we have our hands raised?
Exactly. Thanks for explaining the joke, Chris.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
So,
Just
anyways,
doing my part.
just let's keep some. Uh, you know, we could go favorite parts of the plot, but I don't know if that might be kind of redundant. Um, just like, what did you think about the story overall? You know, what was maybe some parts that they could have fixed a little bit in your mind? That sort of thing. So I can go first. Um, I thought it was a pretty good story so far. It was very straightforward. We knew that, I think, coming in. I think that one of the directors interviewed, they said it wasn't going to be as mysterious as WandaVision. It was a lot more straightforward. Uh, I love the constant reference to Captain America: Winter Soldier, and I don't mean just like the characters. Like, of course, that was a reference. It has the same characters, but like the music. If you notice, the music is like almost the exact same music. Like, obviously, it's redone a little differently, but the music was pretty much the same from Winter Soldier, which was amazing because I love the soundtrack in that movie. I love that movie in general. So I thought that was really awesome. And it's the first one that Falcon shows up in. So that's always cool too. I love I love Sam and Bucky's relationship. You know, they're not friends, but but they have the same best friend. So they're forced to be friends, whether they like to or not. They work really well together, even though they hate each other. Um,
Hey, brother, read the messages.
and Zemo was amazing. Hit whatever his actor's name is. I'm sorry for that's kind of an insult. I can't think of his name. He did a really amazing job. I thought he did a way better performance. But as far as the villain, the Flag Smashers, I thought they were maybe a little underwhelming. As much as I liked Zemo being an unexpected ally, I think him turning around and being the main villain at the end would have been nice, because he seems like a more intimidating foe. Because he's very smart and very good in combat. Uh, I thought the parts where I think it was like episodes, 2, 3, 4, where it's just basically those three sneaking around everywhere, and there's not really anything actiony happening, or at least, you know, uh, you don't see Sam's flight suit for like quite a few episodes. Uh, I thought maybe those episodes were a little slow, and it just felt like they were trying to save the budget. But apparently, AJ told me that it did have a very big budget, so I guess that's not true then. But anyways, yeah, like as far as the story goes, it may have strung some familiar iconic notes. Like, it wasn't anything, you know, mind blowing. A lot of the plot twists I could pretty much guess anyways were going to happen. But one thing too, I will say too, episode, I think it was 4 or 5, when he's talking to Isaiah the second time, it got strangely political. And he's like, "Oh yeah, they don't want you being Captain America because you're a black man." It's like I don't think that was ever established.
Absolutely
Like
was established, though. I mean,
it
think
just kind of
about it.
came out of nowhere.
It absolutely makes sense. Like that's literally the reason why Falcon wasn't willing to take up the mantle of Captain America.
See, I never got that. I got that he just didn't feel worthy as a person. It had nothing to do with his color. But again, we can have differing opinions. But I
And
personally,
honestly,
I
with
just
the actual political situation going on, I'm sure that did contribute to them playing it as heavily as they did.
100%.
Yeah.
I personally felt it was a little forced. But that's just me.
Okay.
But anyways,
I don't remember at all what I was doing in this game.
well, I'll save that later because I do want to talk about the final episode, separately because, the big finale, how things wrapped up.
Whoa.
But
Let's
anyways,
talk about this show as a whole, but I want to save the last episode.
what were your guys' thoughts on the story? Things you liked, things you didn't like, things that could have been improved.
Mm,
Chris, would you like to go?
I'm trying to think.
Okay. It's gonna be half an hour of us just thinking.
Well, the problem is half my thinking is trying to figure out what the heck I was doing in this game. Then the other half is trying to answer your question.
Well, if anyone else wants to go, again, this is an open discussion. Everybody fight at once. You don't have to take turns.
Alright, I did it a completely different way. I essentially looked at the main characters and rated them, and then looked at each episode and rated it. So for
Okay.
Falcon over the series, I give him a 10 out of
Actually-
10. I think there was absolutely no issues with Falcon after the first episode. First episode, I was a little ticked off that he would give up the shield, but I kind of saw that coming. I mean, it was called Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so I kind of figured he wouldn't be the next Captain America right away. But I wasn't too happy he gave up the shield so quickly and without really much of an explanation, especially to Bucky. Bucky, I give an 8 out of 10. When he was being all stoic, like the first couple episodes, it was kind of bland. Like the action scenes were great, but other than that, it was just kind of like a melodramatic kid. But after he broke Zemo out, it's like there was a bit of a fire in him, like he got a little mischievous, and then he started getting exciting. It was like, okay, now this is something that I can get along with. I mean, they might not be friendly with each other, but at least now they're both like having a bit of fun with this whole situation. Then for Paul Walker, it was a tough sell.
Was it
John
Paul Walker?
John Walker. I only
It's
have
like,
his
wait,
last
what?
name.
He wasn't in this movie
Uh,
or show.
for Walker, I gave him an 8 out of 10. His choices, my gosh, his choices were crap. Because when he decides not to give Falcon the opportunity to talk down Carly, that ends up like just destroying any chance of democracy. No, not democracy.
But
Diplomacy.
yeah, we know.
And
There you go.
Diplomacy, yeah.
And in the end, that then results in his best friend being killed. And it's like, I get that it wasn't entirely his fault his friend is killed. I understand that completely. But if you go down the chain of events, his choice is one of the reasons why it's down there. But at the same time, his redemption arc in the last episode was fantastic. I love that he stood up to the court. It's like, you made me. I did exactly what you told me and taught me to do. And then, like, after that, rather than going after his revenge, he's like, no, I'm gonna, like, be the hero that I always wanted to be. And he decides to go and help with trying to save the,
Live.
well,
Yeah,
trying
save
to
the life.
save the truck from falling over the edge. And I was like, yes! He finally gets it. So, that redemption arc was awesome. That pumped him back up from a 6 to an 8. Carly, I give her a 7 out of 10. She just sounded kind of spoiled. You know, it's like, oh, why can't we live in the houses that we got? It's like, well, I mean, the only reason you got them, honestly, is because these people were snapped out of existence. And you're like, well, why shouldn't we be able to hold on to them after
Finders
the people
keepers.
come back? It's like, that's not
Oh.
how it works. You find
Hold on, I thought-
$100 on the ground. It's not yours. You find out, oh, hey, does this belong to anyone? No one comes forward. Then it's yours. But if the people come back and they're like, yeah, that's actually my $100, you don't get to hold on to it. That's called stealing.
AJ's mad because I took $100 from him once.
Well,
No.
and real quick, I thought they were the people that came back from the blip. I didn't think
No.
they were the people that were displaced.
No.
because
They
They
were
were
the people
the
that
people that were fleeing from various governments. They fled into nations that had been hit by the blip or that had open housing or whatever, moved into the housing, but then when the reverse snap happened, they were kicked out of the houses that they had come to claim as their homes. But it's like, even if you moved in right when the snap happened, you had 5 years of living in here. What if this dude's had this house in his family for like 3 generations? He comes back from a snap, and you're like, nah, fam, this is mine now. You're a dick! But I get it. I get that they were repressed people, and I understand what the Flag Smashers were trying to do, and it was kind of believable. But Carly herself just kind of sounded spoiled, and her descent into callousness of just like, it's the only
Just
thing these
kill
people
everyone?
understand. Kill him, kill them, kill them. I don't want to hurt people that don't matter. It's like, are you hearing yourself? That was well done. That was well done to make her
do
the
you think maybe
villain
Zemo
and
was
then
right?
have a reason why we don't like her. For Zemo, I give him a 9 out of 10. The only reason he doesn't get a 10 is because they don't give us any more in-depth reason as to why he hates super soldiers. Like, I still don't understand why he doesn't like them. Did anyone pick up on why he doesn't like them? It's not because of, like,
They were trying to do
Ultron
like a
dropping
Joker
something.
thing.
It's not because of Ultron dropping something on Sokovia, because that was robots and super intelligent humans. It had nothing to do with
Yeah.
super soldiers. So, like,
So
what's the issue here?
you know how like Joker's whole stick with Batman is to show that, Joker hates people on a pedestal and he wants to show the world that Batman is not perfect, essentially. Well, he wants to show that heroes in general are not perfect. And I feel like that's kind of what Zemo's whole thing is like. Hu- humans are humans are incapable of having vast amount of power and be compassionate at the same time. So if a human gets more power than what they're naturally supposed to get, then we have to take them out before
Yeah,
they
but you're the
start
one
to
who
rule
has
over
to
us.
rationalize why he doesn't like them. I want the show to tell me why
Yeah,
he
no.
doesn't like them. Like,
For
why
sure.
is he so
I hate that too.
vehemently against it that he's willing
I-
to essentially give up everything to destroy them?
Yeah, no, for sure. I do think, and I've said that before, that I think it's bad for a show when they have to have the either the viewers come up with explanations or the directors come up with them off screen. It's like you should explain them on
Yeah,
the
but
show.
Zemo's coolness was just on a whole nother level this episode, this show. Like in the original one, he was out for revenge and like he was so dead set on it. But this one, it's like the dude's just like calmly walking into various situations. He's able to like track down people that Falcon and Bucky are having a hard time getting to. It's just like, this is how good this guy is, and that was awesome to see. However, switching then on to Sharon, I felt Sharon was actually the weakest member, like the weakest reoccurring member in this show. I did not like Sharon Carter at all. I felt like the episode that she came into, she was kind of just thrown into it because she was in a previous Captain America movie. And then the way that they reveal her to be the power broker is like,
Spoilers.
of course it was her. Of course it was her, because you haven't shown us anyone else it could be. Like, we're not gonna believe it's another one of these Mandarin situations where it's like, oh, actually there is no power broker. We're not believing that. Of course it's gonna be Sharon. It's not gonna be freaking Zemo. So, I also don't like the idea that they're setting her up to be a villain for more time than she was a good guy. She was a good guy for like an hour because she featured for like an hour in all of the movies. So, yeah, Sharon Carter was the weakest part for me. Isaiah, I liked Isaiah. He was a bitter old man and he had reasons to feel betrayed. I like
Hey,
Isaiah.
you're gonna be a bitter old man someday.
Exactly. But at the same time, I liked the ending where he gets some
Yeah, that was
recognition
nice.
because of Falcon
AJ,
like,
you're.
putting
I
it
wanted
in.
to discuss the ending.
Ah, I loved that where he gets some credit for his service. 8 out of 10 for Isaiah. I like a bitter old man. Then for my episode ratings, episode 1, 7 out of 10. Nothing special. It got me coming back. That's what a show has to do with its first episode. Episode 2, cranked it up a bit, 8 out of 10. Episode 3, same thing. Episode 4 was a 10 out of 10. No questions in my mind. Everybody that featured in episode 4 was grounded. They had a logical reason to be who they were, doing what they were doing, and it was beautiful cinematography. Episode 5, a much needed breather. I give it a 9 out of 10 just because it wasn't as fun as episode 4. Hard to follow that up. But it was still, like, it's probably my favorite breath before the storm. Then episode 6 was kind of like a disappointment for me, you know? Like, I wanted another episode 4 where it was just like everybody makes sense. But we didn't get that. There were moments where it felt kind of forced. Like, where it's like, it's Black Falcon! No, that's Captain America. You don't need that scene. You can just have it where, like, he lands, and everyone's like, is that Captain America? Is that allowed? Is he allowed to be Captain America? Just, like, kind of talking in the background. You don't need, like, a cutscene where, like, he's flying past and a black guy's like, yeah, Black Falcon! Anyways, so I didn't really appreciate
You were just
that
trying to bring
part.
up an old joke.
But all of that said, like, I 100% agree that Falcon deserved to be Captain America. Out of the 3 that were available, Falcon definitely fits the best. His spiel felt like it went on a little longer than realistically possible, but at the same time, the writers wanted it to be a huge cultural impact. Essentially, Black Panther is gone, and the black community needs a superhero that they can be all like, this is somebody that we can look up to and aspire to. I think Falcon is gonna be a great Captain America. I'm really excited to see what Anthony Mackie does with the character.
Okay, well, welcome back to AJ ignores my entire plan and does his entire script.
Get
But no,
wrecked.
that was great. That was great.
Yeah, right.
But I did want to talk about characters later on, which is great.
Too bad.
What are we talking about now? If we're talking about
Oh,
the
we're
end
talking
later,
about the story,
The
but you
characters
can't talk
later.
about the story without the characters, because the characters make the story.
I'm sorry. Okay. Well, does anybody have anything else to add into right now?
to the
And
to what
and
the
then
story?
we'll move on to characters. Yeah. If you don't, that's fine. We can move on to characters.
I mean, the only thing I would say is I was surprised how big of a role Wakanda played between them coming for Zemo and providing all the. Well, first off, they provided his arm, right? The Winter
Now
Soldier's
that
new
Tony
arm.
Stark, now that Tony Stark can't give everybody cool
Yeah.
tech, only the Wakandas can.
Yeah, now
Wait,
they've got all
who
the
made
super
Falcon's
technology.
armor? Who made his
The
suit?
I'm pretty sure it
Wakandans.
was Wakanda.
Was it?
You're
Was
talking
it
about
the
the new
whole
armor,
suit, or
right?
was
The
it
Captain America armor.
See, I thought maybe it was just the wings, but if they made the whole suit, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, I think they did. I assume that's what was
Yeah.
in the box that the Winter Soldier brought him from.
Yeah,
Wakanda.
I'm pretty sure it was the wings and the suit. We'll get let's talk about it now.
Well,
I love the
okay.
Captain America suit.
What? What about going down the line, letting people talk
Okay.
about the story? What
Well,
about your
no,
own plan, Anthony?
No, we're keeping it an open
And
discussion.
this
Not
is an
everybody has to
uncivilized
talk if they don't
discussion.
want to.
That was
Caleb.
fine.
Caleb, do you have any things to put in about the story?
Oh, who said I was done?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Go on,
I'm
Chris
Chris.
is done.
I'm done.
Who said I wanted to talk?
I'm done. Go for it.
Chris, stop abusing the kid.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Daniel, you seemed a little disappointed with the story early on. Is there anything to talk about the story?
Yeah. I think Bucky and whatever his name is, Falcon.
Yeah.
I think they brought everything upon themselves. They were a bunch of jerks. They didn't even give the guy a chance. The guy came to him 3 times seeking their help and their friendship, and each time, even if they didn't want it, there were better ways to say it than the way they did. They're literally just jerks, and then they decide that, hey, you know what? We're just gonna ostracize this guy and make him feel worthless and push him and all that crap because we don't want him here. What did they expect to happen? They're supposed to be
Okay.
the heroes of the show, and they were literally, in the first 3 episodes, the worst people in it.
Okay. Now, not saying you're wrong, because you do have a very good point. Just to play a little bit of an advocate here, say, uh, not to get too morbid, but just say, your brother AJ passed away, and in order to make you feel better, I decided to dress up like AJ and literally pretend I was him. Wouldn't that frustrate you?
That's a little different than what's going on here.
Well, it's just the
What's
idea
happening
that
here? What's happening here is like, say, the president of a country died. Would the entire country get upset when the government decides to put up the vice president in place of him?
The entire country, no. But would his best friends? Maybe.
No. Look what happened in Zambia. Mwanawasa died. They put up Guy Scott. Everybody understood it needed to be done.
Daniel, do you not
Yeah.
remember the backlash of having a white guy in charge of Zambia?
I remember pretty much everybody I talked to was happy about it.
Because you were white.
No, AJ, that's not why.
I'm sorry, Daniel, but it was.
It wasn't.
oh boy.
Literally, all of them were like, maybe it's time we had somebody like this in charge.
No. I feel
okay,
like if
so
that were true,
anyways-
he would have gotten into the running when the elections came around.
No, he wasn't allowed to be the full-on president because
Okay,
of his
enough
birth
discussion
status.
about Zambian politics.
Okay. So anyways,
Let's get to
I
the
do
politics.
understand your point, AJ or Daniel, because Marvel does have a problem with doing that. Agents of Shield, what was it, season 4 or 5, did that same thing where they got a new director, and like literally the main cast, they kept doing things that just made the new director's job like terrible. And then they tried to, like, in the show, they were like, "Oh, you're such a jerk." It's like, well, no, but you're being a jerk to him. AJ knows what I'm talking about anyway. So Marvel does have, I think, a problem writing plots that way. They want to try and justify. Although, to be fair too, there seemed to be a huge hatred for John Walker amongst the fans. Like there was people like there was so many memes of like just hating that guy. And it wasn't like the actor or anything. It was just like, again, the guy is taking the role of Captain America, so people feel obligated to hate him, even if he's a good character. But anything else to put in, Daniel?
No.
Did you think like it? Did you think that near the end of the show they fixed that problem? Was it just a problem at the beginning of the show, or?
I mean, once they broke his arm, they decided to just leave.
Be nice to him.
The only time they accepted him was when they actually needed help themselves, and then they
broke
had
his
no
arm.
qualms with welcoming him back. There was a bit of selfishness there again.
I would like
And
to
they
defend.
accepted it,
I would like
fine,
to
sure.
defend him on this point, Daniel. So when they do accept him, I feel like it's for the same reason that a lot of viewers began to accept him, or at least I did. And it's because he showed that he was more interested in helping others than he was in furthering his own goals.
He realized it was better to be a good man than a good soldier.
Like, I think that's why they accepted him. Granted, they don't say that in the show, so
No.
I am willing to back down on this point. But for me personally, that's when I went from this guy needs something to okay, this guy's got something special.
A really good meme, if you can call it. It wasn't really a meme because memes are more about jokes, but a really good picture came out where they showed in the first Captain America movie where he's talking to the doctor, right? And like asking him like, "Why did you choose me?" And he's talking about his formula and he says, good becomes great and bad becomes evil. And he says that you know, if a if a powerful man, if a strong man gets power, he takes advantage of it and he loses sight of what matters. But if a weak man gets power, he understands the power of weakness, and he has compassion. And he's like, I don't want a perfect soldier. I want a good soldier. And they were kind of comparing the two, which, again, not to, I don't think the purpose of the picture was to like again hate on John Walker. I think it was just to show that they actually, these writers were actually thinking, and we've seen Steve Rogers and we know what he's become, and now they're showing like what happens when a good we've seen what happens when a good man gets the formula. Now we're seeing what happens when a good soldier gets the formula and how it can change a person. But again, it was great to see the redemption arc where he did realize what was important. And he even gave up the Captain America mantle.
Chris, can you respond to my diplomatic proposal, please?
I
But anyways,
don't have it.
okay, let's move on to characters real quick.
Oh,
What
there
time
it
are
is,
we
it's
at,
fighting.
AJ?
40 minutes.
40
No, I
minutes.
don't want to
Okay,
declare war on
we'll go a
Caleb.
little quicker through this.
Sure.
You did quite a bit of discussion on it already. So AJ, who was your favorite character, would you say?
Falcon. Falcon was
Falcon.
definitely
Okay.
my favorite character in this show.
He was a really good character because
There you go,
I
Caleb.
feel for him not feeling adequate for the position that he's been given and struggling with trying to live up to somebody's shoes like Steve Rogers. I have one question though. Where the heck, like, how long does this show take place after Endgame?
I don't
Like
think it's too long. Maybe a couple
no.
months.
So the question is, where is Steve? It's not like he just died on the bench in front of them. Like he's probably in
No.
some old age retirement home somewhere.
Or he
So is
died
he
within the
watching all of this
months.
on TV? Because they're acting like Steve no longer exists, and it's like, well, he's probably just in an old age home somewhere.
They said Steve is gone, so it's not too hard to believe.
And
That
also, would he possibly not have just gone back? I guess he can't go back in time again, can he?
No, but they
uh,
did create an immortality machine. So
it
I
would have
seem to
been
have
pretty
forgotten
cool to it would have been pretty cool if at the end he showed up to Isaiah's door and like had a beer with him or something and
That
just
would have been
showed
cool,
some
yeah.
reconciliation because Isaiah hated him, but I feel like if Steve Rogers would have actually known he existed. And but anyways, Chris, who did you like? Who, maybe not your favorite, but who was a character you really appreciated in the show?
Probably Bucky, to be honest. Just
Okay.
because just the fact that he was trying to deal with all that stuff that he did as the Winter Soldier,
I think he had a
that
good
was a different side.
maybe his arc wasn't as dramatic as some of the other character arcs, but I thought he had a good one, because he is dealing with some crap.
That's an understatement.
And yeah, no, and and the moment that they had two in the therapist, even though I felt that whole kind of scene was maybe a little forced, uh, it was just kind of weird. It's like all of a sudden they're in a therapy session, but but I did feel like when he did open up and was like, explaining why he's so mad at Sam for giving up the shield, it did make a lot of sense. I thought that would, if I was in that situation, I would be pretty upset too. Um. So, anyways, anything else, Chris?
Nope.
Uh, Caleb,
Yes, that'd be my name.
what character did you like?
I was a Bucky fan.
Bucky fan?
You're not just copying me, are you?
No. I was gonna say
Oh,
Bucky
okay.
said it.
Sounds
Was there
suspicious.
was there a favorite Bucky moment?
Probably when Bucky called Sam Cap right at the end.
Nice. Yeah. I did like that moment there too. Sorry, I was texting and I missed your whole speech.
Yep.
But
Did I get
Daniel.
iron
Oh,
horse?
sorry,
What's
Caleb. Do you have anything else? Sorry.
No, I'm talking to in game.
Okay. Daniel. What character did you like? And you don't have to. You can pick a different character too, or you can pick the
Don't
same.
worry. I would. John Walker.
You like John Walker? That's your
I
favorite
love
character.
John Walker.
Big.
Guy made sense.
You really
They did.
sympathized with him.
Listen, everybody wants to say that Captain America was chosen not because he was a perfect soldier, but because he was a good man. And yet, everybody who makes that argument seems to neglect the fact that when we're introduced to John Walker, we aren't introduced to him as a perfect soldier. We also see him struggling with why he's there and why they chose him and how everything he's done hasn't necessarily been what's felt like right, and he's struggling with all these things. He's trying to be a good man, but nobody seems to understand that.
Fair enough. But I feel like that's why his redemption in the end makes sense because there was a piece there, right?
The man's been trying for redemption the entire time, but nobody gives him a chance because they're all have their own heads shoved up their own buttholes.
Yeah, Sam and Bucky kind of were mean to him, and then he ended up taking the super soldier serum, and then when his friend got killed there, then he kind of lost his way a little bit. And I think a lot of it too was him trying to prove himself. You know, he was getting a little desperate in trying to find the flag smashers, and even his friend Lamont was trying to calm him down and talk some sense into him. And that's probably part of the reason too. Lamont was probably a bit of a voice of reason for him, and when he lost Lamont, then he kind of lost it. But yeah, no, I do agree he was a good character. And I do like how they finally called him U.S. agent in the end. I am getting a little sick of the trope right now though, where all the characters have to point out how ridiculous their or another name is. It's like, okay, we get it. Comic book names are dumb. Just stop bringing that up. Everyone does it. Even the CW, DC shows do it all the time too. Oh, your name's elongated, man. That's weird. It's like, okay, guys, we get it. It was a different time. I think U.S. agent is a clever pun, but anyways,
Was that a pun?
yeah, U.S. agent.
Ah, okay.
But anyways, my favorite character, I have to go with Zemo. I know I feel bad choosing a guy who's kind of supposed to be the bad guy, but
No, yeah. He's an
they
anti-hero though in this, so
yeah, they did a lot better at portraying him than they did in Civil War. Civil War, his plan was like super complicated, and the fact that it even worked was amazing. This one, he showed that he was really smart, and a really good soldier. Like that combat scene in the in the shipping yard was amazing, and Also,
So where the heck did that come from?
him
Like, you
wearing
never
the
see him
ski
fight
mask.
or anything, but then all of a sudden he's this super BA
Ah,
guy.
No, you know that from Civil War, where it
Yes,
says that he
actually,
was
they do
Sarkovian's
explain
secret
it.
no,
Ah,
not secret service, but essentially like
special forces or whatever.
It
special
was something like
forces.
that.
That's what it was.
Right, I forgot because you don't actually
Yeah.
ever see him.
I
do
like
that.
how they
It's just
do
mentioned.
finally bring up
Okay.
the fact. I like how they do finally bring up the fact that he is royalty. Like he belong. You know, he's a baron, right? So
Ah, basically royalty.
basically
He's
royalty.
not
Yeah, yeah.
royalty. He's basically royalty.
This is a-
Now in the comic books, he actually controls Shield, or he's one of the people who try to control Shield, or not Shield. Sorry. I think he does control Shield
Hydra.
at one point, but Hydra, yeah. Where in this one he hates Hydra, which I don't care. He's still a good character. Also, I love the little nod off where he wears that purple toque thing. In the comic books, he wears it because he got disfigured. I'm okay with him not being disfigured in this version.
That's
I
nice
think
of
is
you.
that the actor is a very handsome man,
Oh wow.
and
You go,
I
bud.
do.
We learn your true feelings.
Anyway, but I did like the nod off. I do wish he kind of wore the purple toque thing a little more. That was cool, but it was probably very hard to see through it. Uh, but anyways, I think that's. Oh, the one last thing I did like about Zemo is when he is talking about the ideals of a super soldier and how it can corrupt ideals, and I thought he it was a very excellent speech, and I do like how at the very end, where Bucky's like, it didn't corrupt Steve, and he's like, yes, but we'll never have another Steve Rogers. He finally admitted that Steve Rogers was like the one super soldier that wasn't corrupted. Or the one
Ah,
superhuman, we could
he
say.
also admits that Bucky is one too, though, because when
Does he? Okay.
he had opportunities to kill Bucky, but instead he scratched his own name out of Bucky's book because he realized and recognized that Bucky was trying to become a good man. He was trying to
Yeah.
reconcile for all the wrong he had done, and he was trying to become a better man. And I think Zemo recognized that and accepted Bucky as another one capable of having superhuman powers without needing to die.
Yeah. So as much as would have liked to have seen Zemo become a villain, be the main villain, I think I'm okay with him being more of an anti-hero.
He could
Where
still be the
like,
leader of the Thunderbolts.
true. Uh, yeah, they could do a Thunderbolts movie where like he's trying to show people what a proper superhero team looks like. Uh, rather than trying to take over the world like what the point was in the comic books. But I do like I am okay with the more anti-hero stick where he's more trying to take out superhuman people who are a huge threat to world security, and he does it in unethical ways. But anyways, yeah, and so let's see. We kind of discussed all the character points I wanted to bring up. Oh, now AJ already brought it up once. Can we all agree that Sharon was the worst character?
I've already agreed
I
with that.
plead the fifth.
What does that mean?
That means I
He's gonna
and
remain silent.
I'm going to remain
Oh,
silent.
okay. Daniel,
I think Carly was worse than her.
okay, fair enough. And Caleb, what do you think about Sharon?
I hadn't watched the Captain America movie in a long time that she was in,
Oh, okay.
so I
Okay.
didn't remember her backstory.
She was first in Winter
Peggy
Soldier.
Carter's
Yeah,
granddaughter.
in Winter Soldier, she was just introduced as a agent of Shield, Agent 13, and they didn't really do much more with her. Then in Civil War, they reveal that she was Peggy Carter's niece or great niece or something like that. and then she sort of had a relationship with Captain America for about 5 minutes, and nothing more is ever talked about again. And
But so did Black Widow, kind of.
Hey? No, she didn't.
no, she was
She
more
kissed
resolved.
him to like hide
No, there was
their.
that.
What are you talking about, Chris? Because the only relationship he had with Black Widow was the kiss on the escalator, and that was so that the agents wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
recognize them.
Yeah, and I'm sure she kissed
Maybe
lots
I'm
of
wrong,
people
but
to
I
keep
got the
people from
feeling
killing
from
her.
that movie that there was more there. But
Well, I think a
She kept
that's why
friendship.
I
trying to
was
hook him
confused
up.
when she.
That
I
is
think
the
they were
weirdest
developing a friendship.
relationship when somebody's trying to hook you up with someone else, and you're like, "Nah, girl, I want to be with you."
Oh, that's true. She was doing that. I forgot.
But
See, I
anyway,
don't know what I'm talking about.
anyways,
You need to watch Phase 2 again, Chris.
I don't really want to
Yeah, that'll happen
justify her
someday.
being evil because there was no justifying it, but I do want to say that, maybe we can have a little sympathy for her. She did lose her boyfriend to her dead aunt, so, I'm sure that would mess you up.
Yeah, here's a question for you. If she lost her boyfriend to her dead aunt when she was growing up, spending time with her aunt, does that mean she was also spending time with your now uncle?
Uh,
Or
no,
was that an
because
alternate
it was a
timeline?
Peggy Carter from a different timeline, or at least that's how the writers explain it. Because they explained in Endgame that when you go back in time, you're never going back to your own timeline. It's the parallel universe theory, or
So then, how did they get back to their timeline?
because when you
In
go
the Endgame.
forward, you go forward back to your own timeline. Again, it's theoretical science. It's not actually real.
I don't know if you call it theoretical science. That's
come on, you're
that's
supposed
theoretical.
to charge.
So it's one of the many different science fiction understandings of how time travel would work. I think this is a whole other discussion, but I think the best example of the parallel universe theory in time travel would be Dragon Ball Z. They did a really good explanation of it. But anyways, doodaloo. Okay, so let's. What time are we at, AJ? Probably getting close.
54.
54. Okay, well, we kind of talked about the final episode already. AJ did quite a bit, We'll just go through really quick. Did everybody think it was a good wrap up? Personally,
No.
I thought things got wrapped up very nice. We seen John Walker get redeemed, becoming U.S. agent. Captain Falcon finally became Captain Falcon. Falcon became Captain America. I love this suit. There was a very, very small fear in my heart that they wouldn't, because, again, they're talking about all the racial issues. And I was like, oh, maybe they're going to give him a suit that reflects his race more.
AJ.
And I was very, very pleased to see his Captain America suit, because I didn't read the comic. I know AJ read the comic where he was Captain America,
One
but
of
I
them,
have
yeah.
seen his design. I love Falcon's Captain America design. I think he just looks really good in it. And also, the suit did have a little bit of a homage to his more comic book version, like his original white and red suit. Um, for those of you who are listening, viewers, go look it up. Just like how the headpiece was molded around his head with the goggles, looked a lot more like his comic book suit. I thought it was again, I just thought it was an amazing suit. They've done a really good. WandaVision 2 had a really good superhero suit reveal, and so did Falcon and Winter Soldier. The only thing I will criticize it looked a little puffy around his chest, like there was padding, like not bulletproof padding, just stuffing. But again, that's just a small criticism. Uh, Carly died. I kind of wish that maybe they could have resolved that a little better.
Well, and they should have. That's why that's one of the main reasons why I think Sharon is a horrible
Be-
character.
Because she shot, yeah. Well, and because Falcon and Zima had this whole thing like, well, we're gonna save her without killing her, and Zima's like, no, you have to kill her, and then it turns out Zima was right. Now, Falcon's speech was cool in the end, but again, I felt like it was a great speech, but I felt like it was one of those speeches again where it doesn't really give a solution. You know, because the writers don't know what the solution is, so they just write a speech
I
that
mean,
just talk about
there was
concepts
a
and stuff.
decent solution. He essentially said, if you don't know, like, if you don't understand somebody's pain, go find out what their pain is. Don't try to say this isn't happening or this is more important.
Well, fair enough. That is a really good solution. Um, um, but anyways, well, Zemo had a good wrap up by getting his butler to kill the rest of the super soldiers.
That was
So
beautiful.
that's all wrapped up.
Oh, that's
We
who
don't have
that
to
was?
we
That
don't
Yeah,
have
that
to
was Zemo's
Yeah, yeah.
butler.
I thought it was
Yeah.
some random
So he
guy.
had a great
That was-
character arc,
it
that
was-
butler. That's my favorite character, the butler. But anyways, I don't think there was any. Well, yeah, and Sharon, at the end, she gets pardoned and she's like, okay, no, I'm gonna sell U.S. government's secrets. It's like, you jerk. I wish Steve Rogers would come back and ding you on the head with his shield. But anyways, um, Daniel, sorry, I cut you off there a while ago. You didn't like the final episode?
No. Felt weak.
What was your main objection with it?
Well, as they just said, everything felt forced when it came to Captain America.
Fair enough. Oh, sorry. The one last thing I forgot too was Isaiah had a really good. I thought that was really nice what they did for him, getting him the statue. Um, but anyways, Chris, any thoughts on the final episode?
Not really. I think you touched them all. So
Okay, and
Nice work.
Caleb.
Nope.
Okay. Uh, do you guys think there's a possibility of a season 2?
Ah, I'm glad you asked because I read up on this the moment I finished this show. They are in talks for the guy who directed this season to be in charge of Captain America 4.
Oh,
Yes, so it's going to be a movie.
okay. Because I was gonna say that if not not a second season, would you rather there be a movie? I'm okay with either. I would like to see uh Sam as Captain America on the big screen. I think that'd be really cool. I do feel like they're obviously they can't just end it here. There's got to be something like a movie or a second season. I'm okay with WandaVision ending. But this one definitely needs more because just having a little bit of uh just having that one final episode with him in the amazing suit wasn't enough. Um, Also, can I just sorry, I keep bringing up. I love the final episode. I think it was my favorite episode. Um, I love where Carly finally sees him in the Captain America colors, and she's like, "Oh, I can't believe you bought into that bull."
Editing.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm trying something. You should try it."
editing.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
But anyways,
Anthony.
sorry, I just gave us a PG-13 rating. Sorry, Kappa. But anyways, but yeah, I thought that was really great too because rather than be like, oh yeah, being American is stupid. They actually did kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna try this, patriotism stuff and make it work. I thought that was really great. Rather than just throw out the old system, Sam found a way to make it work. So, but anyways, I did have one final thing, and then we'll end. Yeah. Or no. Do we want to talk about highlights? I guess we've talked about it thoroughly enough. Unless is there something that somebody wants to bring up that wasn't discussed?
Nope.
A favorite part or a part you hated? A character we missed? Like Sam's wingman, who we never talk about. Or the fact that for whatever reason, Sam's got these cutting edge flying suits and he can't seem to catch up to helicopters, who are like some of the slowest aircrafts in the world.
But it was flown by a super soldier, which makes it faster.
Yes. Or in the first episode, how paragliding people are faster than somebody with jet propulsion jetpack. That makes sense too.
Suck
Just so
it!
you're being very aggressive in this game. It's
But
unusual.
anyways, we'll end the discussion there. Viewer, what do you think? Do you think that jet propulsion is slower than normal air movement? Put a comment and we won't read it. So
What?
Wait, aren't you supposed to do an overall rating of the show?
yeah, we can do that. Okay, so let's do our overall rating of the show. Honestly, just having the Captain America 2 music bumps it up a point for me. I'd say 8.5. I did really like the show. It wasn't perfect, so that's obviously why I'm not giving it a 9 or a 10. You know, there was a few slower parts, and a few of the like we've already discussed, some of the characters, Sharon, weren't great. So, but yeah, I thought it was a very solid show, and I kind of enjoyed it more than WandaVision, to be honest. But half of that is probably because I was avoiding the internet and expectations. So, AJ, what did you think?
I want to give it a 9 out of 10, but I just took another little peek at my episode ratings, and I think it has to be closer to an 8. So I'll give it an 8. Did I like it more than WandaVision? Probably not. There was enough in it. Like, it was just 6 episodes, but there was enough in it to frustrate me, so... yeah. 8 out of 10, great show. I'd love to binge watch it all on a Saturday sometime soon.
Yeah, I totally watch it again with somebody who hadn't seen it, or somebody who had seen it. Let's do Daniel. Daniel, what did you think?
7.
7? Oh, okay, that's actually surprisingly. I know WandaVision you rated pretty low.
That's just
So,
WandaVision sucks.
So would you say that you liked it better than WandaVision?
Yeah, they don't kill John Walker, so pretty big win for them.
So if they killed John Walker, it would have been rated a lot lower.
It would have been a 0.
Okay. If they killed Sam and Buck and John Walker was the hero in the end, would it have been a 10 out of 10?
No, if they killed Bucky, sure. But
Okay.
the thing is, the
Get on it, writers.
Falcon hasn't done anything wrong, so I don't have anything against Falcon.
He's Captain America now, Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just in case people don't want that spoiled for them, I'm gonna.
Actually, also, can we change the
Well-
title of the show? I feel like Falcon and Winter Soldier is really long. Let's just call it Sam and Buck.
Well, at the
I'll
end of
just-
the
well,
show,
they're
they
gonna have to
changed
change
it
it
to
now anyways,
Captain
'cause he's not
and the
Falcon.
Winter Soldier.
Well, yeah, exactly. If they just called it Sam and Buck, they wouldn't have to change anything.
Or Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
That's the second movie, Chris.
Of course, it's also longer, so that wouldn't help you.
Wasn't the second
anyway.
movie Captain America: The Winter Soldier? So if you stick an
Yeah,
"and"
yeah,
there,
colon.
technically it's a different movie.
Colon. That's like Fast and Furious. The Fast and the
Punctuation makes all the difference.
Furious. What says Fast and Furious fans. So anyways, Caleb.
I would say 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Maybe let's just say 8.
Okay.
It was enough that
Chris.
I wanted to watch
Oh.
each episode when it came out.
What was that, Caleb?
It was good enough that I wanted to watch each episode when it came out.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's a good
Means
sign
we
of a
didn't have
show.
to push him to. Come on, Caleb, watch them all.
But I'm also watching the Marvel Bucks one too. So
Now, Chris, what did you think?
Probably give it about an 8 out of 10 because I enjoyed watching it, and that's kind of what I was going in it for. So it did what I wanted it to do,
That's
but
fair.
I'm stingy and don't give perfect scores very often unless it's mind blowing. So
Out of curiosity, Chris, would you give anything you've watched a perfect score?
ever?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Wow. That's
And he
Thanks.
calls
It's not
himself
like-
a Lord of the Rings fan, people.
Yeah,
you wouldn't give Lord of the Rings a 10 out of 10?
No,
You're not a true Lord of the Rings fan unless
no,
you
the guy
rate
picks
all
his
their
head up.
movies
How can you give it a 10 out of 10?
Because that
Okay.
And
adds
you
to
can
the
see the-
movie.
Because you're
Because
not a Lord
what?
of the Rings fan if it's not the best movie ever in your mind.
Well, I'm sorry you guys feel that way. Then you guys must not be Marvel fans.
Why?
Well, we're not Lord of the Rings fans, that's for sure. It doesn't work that way for other fandoms, just Lord of
Oh,
the Rings.
just Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. No, I've met a lot of Lord of the Rings fans, and they're like very, very, very adamant about only ever liking Lord of the Rings.
Well,
But
I'm not that way. Sorry to disappoint you.
that's okay. You're just one of us.
Caleb, what are you doing, bro?
So, anyways, that's it for our discussion. So, again, viewers or viewer, put a comment in what you think about it. You know, what you like, didn't like. If you agree with us, if you don't agree with us, you can always, I guess, unsubscribe too. But please don't do that. We're lonely. Anyways, thank you,
What?
everybody for being part of the discussion. I'm not playing the civilized game with everyone, so I have no idea who's murdering who. Who's winning, AJ?
I am! Because I
Yeah.
defeated Sweden!
He took their
Oh
capital.
no.
I've
There's our
actually
gotten
being
sick
aggressive.
and tired of Sweden doing all of the freaking natural, or not natural, ancient wonders
Wonders?
of the world, and I was like, no! No more! So
Wait,
I
hasn't
took their
Daniel been doing
capital.
most of them?
My
Yeah,
guess
shut
up,
was
Chris. Anyways.
Gustav. Was it Daniel?
So
Oh, the
long,
last
Damn,
two
I
or
might
everybody.
three
have to
I've
go
seen have
after
been
Daniel
Daniel.
next time.
So long, everybody, and have a safe drive home.
Catch you on the flip
Yes.
side.
Bye-bye.